meeting at 4 o'clock. I expect to be there at 3:45. All right. Looks like we're there.
Preparing for YouTube's preparing. 1 second, please. All right, we are ready to get started.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. We'll have a roll call. Commission Member Hennis, me here. Commission Member Kramer.
Here.
Commission Member Lucas. Not here. Commission Member Whitmore.
Here.
And Commission Member Watkins, not here. Okay, we do have 3 of us, so we can proceed with the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Please take notice that the September 14th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting will be held by electronic means pursuant to the continuity of government ordinance effective April 6, 2022, due to the threats posed by COVID-19 pandemic to the health, safety, and welfare of the public. While some commission members may participate remotely, staff will be present presenting as normal in the Board of Supervisors meeting room at 150 South Main Street, Lexington, 24450. In addition to citizens attending the meeting in person, citizens have several options to view or participate in the Zoom meeting webinar as described below. We will do our best to take citizen comment remotely. There are 2 options for citizens to offer comment. 1, to join the Rockbridge County Planning Commission Zoom webinar. The link is available on the county website to copy into the address line on your browser. 2, to join by telephone. You may dial into one of the numbers listed on the county website. Webinar ID and password are there for your convenience. Citizens wishing to simply view the meeting live or after the fact can do so on the Rockbridge County Planning Commission YouTube channel, also available on the county website. If you wish to make a citizen comment as a Zoom meeting participant, you will use the raise your hand feature. You can press the raise hand button on the bottom of your Zoom window or press *9 if you're calling in by telephone. At this time, we will proceed with the meeting. And the first item is citizen comments. And do we have anyone here physically present to speak about anything that is not on the agenda this evening? Nope. Okay. And any written comments?
No written comments. Let me check. If you'd like to make a citizen comments, now is the appropriate time to raise your hand. Use the raise hand feature on Zoom, I should say. I'm not seeing any, and we do not have any written comments.
Okay. We'll move on to the approval of the August 10th, 2022 minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Okay. So we need a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved as submitted. We'll now have the board report. Staff is going to give us a report.
Yes, I have 2 meetings to report on. One is the August 22nd Board of Supervisors at the regular scheduled meeting. They approved the Bridge Christian Academy, Gilmer's Mill Road, Natural Bridge Station area as recommended by the Planning Commission with the same conditions. On September 12th, they being the Board of Supervisors, of course, approved the Select Equine Campground in the Fancy Hill area as recommended by the Planning Commission. And then also just give y'all a heads up, we did have a work session with the Board of Supervisors on September 12th prior to the normal meeting. They at some time they hold work sessions, and this one was for re-erecting the Welcome To sign that was across the street from slightly up the road from the Tractor Supply parking lot.
Remember
There's a
that
group of
one, sure.
individuals that would like to re-erect that sign. And the board's process is, since it's in the VDOT right of way, the Board of Supervisors has to pass a resolution that's associated with the application through VDOT. And so that was just a work session. No action was taken at the time.
Okay, thank you. Well, the next agenda item is the Marlbrook Baptist Church Incorporated doing business as Shenandoah Christian Academy, 6926 North Lee Highway, Racine, Virginia, 24472. We'll be having a public hearing. This is an application for a special exception permit, private school in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district. So we're going to begin staff and applicant presentation. At this time, we're going to open the public. We're going to have the presentation.
That's correct.
First,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Brief presentation on my end. Again, Marlbrook Baptist Church Incorporated doing business as Shenandoah Christian Academy. This is a special exception to operate a private school in the agricultural zoning district. The property under consideration is owned by Marlbrook Baptist Church Incorporated, and it includes tax map numbers 40-A-2 and 40-A-2B. The Marlbrook Baptist Church consists of approximately 16.5 acres. Again, because it's a church, this is fairly common trend. We don't have any tax deeded acreage associated with tax map 40-A-2, but per GIS, it's approximately 2.8 acres. And 2A does have some acreage associated with it. Per tax records, it's 13.756. It should be noted, and I didn't outline, apologize, but the church does also own this parcel of land here. That's 6952 North Lee Highway. The property is located in and surrounded by the agricultural and general use zoning district. Again, that's A2. As far as the special exception itself, per section 603.02-20 of the regulations, private schools are used by special exception in the A2 zoning district. The applicant, Marlbrook Baptist Church, again, DBA as Shenandoah Christian Academy. The school plans to utilize the existing church facility for the proposed private school. As far as conditions that could be utilized, these are similar to other private schools we've recently seen. Again, the conditions that could be utilized are: number one, school facility is limited to the existing building and surrounding property for outdoor activities. Total number of students not to exceed blank, and I'll let the applicants go over that. As far as the current enrollment and future projected enrollment. Number three, the school will be limited to day students only, no boarding students. The school will be limited to 2nd through 10th grades. All trash will be taken direct to landfill, not a county collection center or county green boxes. Number 6, all lighting shall be in compliance with 1303 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. And number 7, approval contingent upon VDOT, Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, Health Department, Building Department, and Rockbridge County Office of Fire Rescue and Emergency Management approvals and compliance with the Department of Education requirements. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Mr. and Mrs. Tilley, I believe, to review the additional details on the project and ask or answer any questions that the Planning Commission may have.
Thank you. So I'm Pastor John Tilley. This is my wife, Melissa. So I pastor the church. She runs the school. So,
Okay.
Just a brief history. Marlbrook Baptist Church was established in 1900 on South River, moved to its current building in the 60s. There've been additions 96 and 08. I've been a member of the congregation since 2012, been employed by the church since 2014, and I've been a senior pastor since 2018. The decision to start a school began in 2020 because the changes that were introduced into the public school system, some folks in the congregation were looking for alternatives, wondered if we would consider opening a school. So we made the decision to open the school in the fall of 21 to folks within the church. It was a very successful year, and because of that, we decided to open it up to the community. We were unaware at the time that we needed to get a special exemption permit. Nathan Ramsey is part of our congregation, and he told me that we were supposed to get a permit. And so when he did, I contacted Mr. Sladen and said, we need to get this fixed. And so that's why we're here. So I apologize for not getting that sooner, but I do want to thank Mr. Sladen. He's been very helpful in stepping me through this whole process. Appreciate all that he's done. The school is currently using the basement and outdoor facilities of the church for all our classes and activities. On the 16 acres that we have a large playground, volleyball court, softball field, picnic shelter, basketball court. So very well suited for a school already with the facilities that we have. We've got plenty of parking, and we've had all the inspections done by the fire, building department, health department, septic engineer, and VDOT, and everything has been approved, except that our entrance off of Route 11 needed to be made wider, according to VDOT, and that's supposed to be done by the end of this month. And so we've got working on getting that done. We do currently have 12 students enrolled. We're advertised as serving grades 2 through 8, although we do have one 10th grader in the school. And it's our prayer to expand to kindergarten through 12th grade by the next school year. We have 4 staff members right now, looking to add 2 more staff members so that we could expand to those grades. Per the fire department septic engineer, our facility, we could house up to 35 students. And so that would kind of be our cap. But right now we're at 12 students. And so our desire with the school is to just provide an educational environment that will instruct, train, and equip our youth to effectively impact their generation through academic learning and Bible principles.
Good. Right now, do you have, are you planning to bring on outside students? You said all of your students are within the church.
That was last year. So we do have 2 students that are not part of our congregation. this
Okay.
year. Yes.
So as you expand, you're going to be looking out into the community or offering it to people in the
Yes,
community
and we
as
have
well.
offered it to the community there.
Okay.
We have Facebook ads, brochures, and things that folks have passed around.
Okay.
We're not really pushing it, but it is there.
Right. Is your teaching staff, are they licensed or what, how are they trained or are they?
So we use Accelerated Christian Education. School of Tomorrow is the curriculum that we use. Our teachers are certified through that curriculum.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. You guys have any questions?
You mentioned in the future you'd like to do K through 12. What about 2 through 12? Just because your 10th graders will be 11th, and if we wanted to modify something, would you want to try to do 2nd grade through senior year for this time, and then just see how it goes? Because
I see what you're saying.
yeah, kindergarten, 1st grade is a whole lot different than as they age.
I actually have a teacher for kindergarten. I really don't have a teacher for the 11th and 12th graders. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I'm at. I've got somebody that I'm talking to for the 11th and 12th graders. But yes, sir.
I would imagine if you're expanding, a lot of people would want to put them in probably starting in kindergarten anyway, and go up. It's a lot harder to get somebody that wants to come as a 10th grader or 11th grader. So
We
makes
do have
sense.
a few families in the congregation who are interested in the kindergarten as well. So,
Okay.
I'm good.
No questions. Okay, very good. If we think of anything, we will call you back up here, but we will
Thank
appreciate your time. And we're going to open up the public hearing. If there's anyone here that would like to speak.
There's no one signed up, but we'll recognize anyone who'd like to speak. Not, let me check the
Computer and phone.
computer and phone. If anybody'd like to make a citizen comment, now's the time to use the raise hand button on Zoom. Not seeing any, I'll turn the floor back over to.
Okay, very good. Then we will close the public hearing and we will bring it back to the board here for discussion, which I think I had my questions answered.
Yeah, I think that the way all the other ones have gone, it's just a question of the number you want to put in on the students and also
The
the grades, because, if they don't, there's no real reason for them to have to come back if we can help.
Right, especially if we're capping the number at 35, I believe was what
Yeah.
they requested, which is what they've said. Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't hear, so I know people online
you
can't
want-
hear. You'll have to speak into your microphone.
I'm talking. Thank you. So basically, I think everything, it sounds like it's already been running fine. We haven't gotten any complaints. You guys have been doing it for a year, so just putting the paperwork in order.
So the draft conditions were 2nd through 10th. Do we want to change it K through
I
12?
would say K through 12. Let's just do that because they're capped at 35 anyway. We don't really, doesn't make a difference to us what the makeup of that is, as long as you've got teachers to handle them. Okay. You want to make the motion then?
Sure. I make a motion to recommend that the special exception permit to operate a private school in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district per LDR section 603.03-20 and the existing facilities of Marlbrook Baptist Church Incorporated at 6926 North Lee Highway, Rafine, Virginia, identified as tax map number 40-A-2 and 40-A-2B in the South River Magisterial District, be approved with the following conditions. Number 1, school facility limited to existing buildings and surrounding property for outdoor activities. 2, total number of students not to exceed 35. 3, the school will be limited to day students only, no boarding students. 4, school will be limited to kindergarten through 12th grades. 5, all trash shall be taken directly to the landfill and not to county collection centers or county green boxes. 6, lighting shall be in compliance with 1303 of the Rockbridge County Land Development Regulations. And 7, approval contingent on Virginia Department of Transportation, Health Department, Building Department, and Rockbridge County Office of Fire Rescue and Emergency Management approvals and compliance with the Department of Education requirements.
In a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And your special exception is approved. Okay, moving on to item number 6, Conger Campground Natural Bridge LLC doing business as Natural Bridge KOA Campground, 214 Killdeer Lane, Natural Bridge, Virginia, 24578. Public hearing, application for special exception permit campground in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district and the general business B1 zoning district. We're going to have the staff and applicant presentation.
Yes, ma'am. This is Conger Campgrounds of Natural Bridge LLC, DBA Natural Bridge / Lexington KOA Holiday. As far as the details of the property itself, the property is under consideration is owned by Conger Campgrounds Natural Bridge LLC and includes 2 tax parcels. 96-10-5B consisting of 40 acres per tax records and 96-10-8 consisting of 33.75 acres per tax records. Conger count for a total of approximately 73.75 acres associated with the application. Should be noted that the Conger Campgrounds Natural Bridge LLC owns additional property which is identified as 96-10-4 consisting of 28.22 acres per tax records that's located to the southeast, which is not included in the application / expansion plans. The property is located in the agricultural and general use districts and in the general business B1 zoning district. So on the map, you can see everything you can see on the aerial photo is in the agricultural zoning district, and all the dark red on the map is the business zoning district. The current campground consists of 110 sites, including RV sites, 10 sites, and rental cabins. As far as the special exception proposal itself, per section 605.03-14 of the regulations, campgrounds are used by special exception in the B1 zoning district, and per section 603.03-15 of the regulations, campgrounds are used by special exception in the A2 zoning district. The applicant, Conger Campground Natural Bridge LLC, again DBA Natural Bridge Lexington KOA. The proposed expansion plans includes a new office building, bathhouse, pool, and a building for firewood and 30 additional RV campsites. Additional proposed expansion includes general store. Additionally, proposed expansion includes a general store, playground, dog park, and pavilions for the patrons of the campground. Conditions that could be utilized for the special exceptions include a substantial compliance with the concept plan prepared by the applicant titled Natural Bridge KOA 2022 Special Exception Drawings dated August 9th, 2020. Number 2, total number of campsites to include RV sites, tent sites, and cabin sites not to exceed blank, and that number would include the existing ones and the proposed. Number 3, all trash shall be taken directly to the landfill and not the county collection center or green boxes. Number 4, lighting shall be in compliance with 1303 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. And number 5, approval contingent upon VDOT, Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, Health Department, Building Department, and Rockbridge County Office of Fire Rescue and Emergency Management approvals. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Chris Conger to review the details of the project. And we have an additional PowerPoint presentation or additional presentation for you there. So bear with me here. I'd had this up, but I think I'd closed it. So bear with me here. Yes, just up and down. Chris and King. Thank you.
Does that need to be displayed on the TV there?
Not sure why it's doing that on that screen. I knew we had to have some technical difficulties here, so we'll see. Getting there.
Yeah.
Close.
All right, so here we go. Slideshow. Start from beginning. Yes.
Good afternoon. I am Chris Conger. This is my father, Ken Conger. We are from the Buffalo District. To keep this short and sweet, our family has a history of farming. So developing a farmland, we don't do it right. So we are currently approved for 110 sites total. The land the campground sits on has been owned by the Hampton Sides family and leased by us up until January 2022 when we were able to purchase the land. Camping has become a lot more popular during COVID. We have seen a big boost in business, and we currently do not have enough sites to fulfill everybody. Campground or RVs themselves have become much, much larger. Our campground was built in the 70s when we weren't buses on the road taking up our spots. So we've been turning away a lot of campers, which is a loss of revenue for us and a loss of tax revenue for the county. So what we would like to add is a new registration building that could handle registration, as well as small general store to supply campers with groceries, snacks, and camping related items. We'd also like to add 30 more full service RV sites, a new bathhouse, pool, and a building for storing and processing firewood. That is the short list there. So for the 30 sites, as we said, we're always turning people away. Hate doing so. So we already talked about all this. Our campground's just not currently large enough. With our access to Interstate 81, people are coming in off the road without reservations all the time. So we will really need the more sites to keep us there. New registration building. Where I said it just to supply our campers with the necessary means for camping, as well as potential office space for us on the upstairs with apartment buildings.
Better location for your office as well.
Yes. We'd also like a new pool, as our pool was also built in the 70s and it is now showing its age. With the plumbing needing to be redone, the whole pool deck would need to be upheaved, which is just easier. Just do it from scratch or do it right the first time. So we want to do zero entry, ADA friendly splash park for the kids. That would keep it up to date. Also a swimming lane area. We have a retired population who likes to swim laps in pools.
Yeah.
New playground, up to ADA specs as well. That just gives kids somewhere to run and burn off energy. Also a new dog park. Ours is not currently large enough, and KOA's new statistics is 68% of campers travel with pets, so they need somewhere to roam. It's large enough. We also want a new wood processing building. We do our own firewood, our own wrapping and storing and drying, and we currently, again, do not have the space necessary. We actually went through and put in a golf cart garage that has now turned into the wood garage because our firewood needs to stay dry more than our golf carts do. So we'd like to build an additional building to keep our firewood stored somewhere else. All right, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it. Is our property survey. This is our whole plat of a survey I did, and everything highlighted in maroon is our new additions that we would like to make. We will zoom in one by one. That is going to be our 24 site section. This 24 site section is going to be completely new. It's going to be in our current farm field, right next to our new registration building and pool. That way it's in a nice vicinity of it, as long as our new playground, dog park, and pavilion. This is our proposed location for a wood garage. As you can see, it's pretty centralized between our two other garages and our homes. That way we keep everything in sight from our residences. We don't like things hidden away from us, so we'd like to keep an eye on it. So that's pretty centralized. And this is a rendition one of our employees did of our new registration building. We decided on a farmhouse theme to go along with the county. This is an overhead shot of our premium sites. Pretty much decided any new sites we do are going to be up to these standards. They have been sold out every single day since we opened them up. They are concrete pad, concrete patio, upgraded furniture with the built-in bench around the fire ring area. So those are sites that we currently have built. That's not a photograph, as symmetrical as it looks. This is another artist rendition of their 24 site section. So pretty much what you saw on the previous slide, we're going to duplicate 24 times for those sites. In 2021, we paid the county over $100,000 in transient taxes, or I should say our campers collectively paid a total of $100,000 in transient taxes for the county. And that was with 100 sites being operational. So by adding an extra 30 sites, we could increase the tax revenue by an extra $30,000. Works out that way. That is it.
Very good. I have a couple of questions. I noticed on here, you're talking about a retention pond for runoff or whatever. Is that area going to be fenced off? Is it going to be, I mean, I think about kids in particular
Yeah,
wandering off into
yeah,
that.
we're still in work. So we're doing with Perkins and Orson. Gavin came out and they did a drone survey. He's going to give us his best recommendation. But yes, if it is an open pond, we will have to fence that off, or make sure kids
Aren't
can't
just
have access
wandering
to that.
into
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Comply with
Yep.
the local
Yeah,
guidelines.
very
Yep.
good. And as far as it's septic and well out there,
Yes.
and so the hookups, I mean, you're going to basically be able to use what you've got.
We will need to have additional drain fields put in. We are currently approved for one drain field that's been designed and engineered. We are just waiting for this process to go through before we go ahead and build that.
Okay, so you've already had that and it will work out for you guys. And I also heard you sort of mention something about apartments over the registration.
That's correct.
How many apartments? What are you thinking
Uh,
there?
2 is the maximum. Is that correct, Mr. Sladen?
Um,
Bowling's on that
so
parcel.
yes, it would be considered, that's in a business zone, and that could be a duplex, I believe, if I recall correctly.
And are those to rent out, Airbnb kind of
Uh,
thing, or
those
is that
will
for
most
you
likely
all?
Be for the college students in town or any part-time employees that we have that need a residence.
Okay,
Kiwi has a work camper program. So people allowed to either bring their own camper and we provide them a free site and, compensate them for wages for hours worked. But some people don't have campers yet, but still want to, work at the campground and get the campground experience. So we thought maybe apartments over the main building might be a good option for them, but they're just getting into work camping, kind of get a feel for it. And we can offer them some lodging while they're working for us. And also being right over the main office, it can kind of be our eyes and ears at night, watch
Mhm.
the main entrance road and kind of check on people coming and going. So that was one of the thought we had.
most
about
likely
office
it's
over
going to
top of the
be
main
for
office.
people that work for you.
Yeah.
It sounds
That-
like,
That's something, mainly people working for us.
not thinking it's going to be like an Airbnb sort of thing where you're renting it out for
No,
a
that
few
wasn't my
nights.
idea. Yeah, it's more for employees.
Okay, great. You all have questions?
I'm just curious how you picked that beautiful alfalfa field to put the new sites in versus the wooded, off to the right as you're going in, which looks like it had some room for development. Just curious.
The terrain isn't quite there.
Not.
A little bit further off their main road. It started with a new office building. Our office building is currently right in the middle of the campground. So people tend to get lost trying to find the office. So that's kind of how it all starts. Like, let's put an office on the main entrance road so we can kind of catch people coming and going. And you'll be able to direct them through your site or keep the riffraff out at night, whatever. And then we kind of thought, well, there's this beautiful, it's actually a dip valley right there we're going to develop. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's got some alfalfa there, but yeah, mostly alfalfa is going to stay. We're just doing 5-6 acres is what we're
Okay.
thinking. There's still plenty of, we bought 60 acres of farmland. So there's still plenty of farmland out there.
What's the average stay of your campers, and do you have any time restrictions on how long they can stay there?
Most of our campers are 1 to 2 nights, being right off the interstate. During the week, a lot of our campers are just overnight in between destinations. On the weekends, people stay 2 nights. As for the maximum, I think it's 2 weeks in cabins and tents.
There is no maximum for RV sites. We do have some people who are working in the area. We have traveling nurses, so we do allow extended stays if you're working or looking for a house in the area, looking to relocate. But yeah, typically it's 1 to 2 nights. But we have found with these nicer sites, people want to stay longer.
Mhm.
So this is kind of draw them in, and the longer they stay, they're eating at the restaurants here. They're just viewing all the attractions. So yeah, more income for our neighbors and local businesses and tax revenue for county as well.
So there's not a limit on how long they could stay. I mean, I've kind of heard both things, but if they're working here and they decide they want to live in an RV on the
Or the ones who
campground.
choose how long they. get to stay
Okay,
here.
so there's not a law about that has to do with that.
We tend to shy away from it. Under special circumstances, we'll let people stay longer, but yeah, usually it's, again, transient people is here for the day or the weekend, maybe a week tops. So that's mostly 1 to 7 days are mostly probably 90%, 95% of our campers.
Okay.
With the exception of a few who are working and relocating.
So your new pool, will you provide parking? I don't know how far, what's the distance between the old sites? Like if folks want to use the pool, will you have a parking lot for them to drive to it, or will they just walk there, or?
Yeah, we'll have a small parking. I think there's 75 feet, so I got plenty of room to put a parking lot there, but yeah.
A lot of this is still play by ear. What we're gonna be digging is in rock, so we are gonna need to be shifting around, trying to find.
Rockbridge
locations.
County.
Yeah. So.
And
There's no
Orson,
point drawing
Perkins
it
and
in 'cause
Orson
it's
is
gonna
helping
change.
you come up with the plan, and so he'll
Yeah.
be working on all those things.
Exactly.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we will open up the public hearing. If there is anyone here physically present who would like to speak.
Yes, we have a Rachel Rowland signed up.
Okay, and just as a reminder, keep your comments please to 3 minutes and give us your name and magisterial district.
No problem.
Thank you.
Rachel Rowland, 20 Kyway, Natural Bridge, 24578. It's the Buffalo Magisterial District. I actually live on the site that adjoins the property that they're expanding on. I'm here in support of their project. What they're doing in the operation that they run, I've been up there, I've looked at it. It's first class. It reflects well in the Rockbridge area. It's in synergy with the expansion going on at the state park. It's a nice symbiotic use. And it's consistent with what I believe it reads in the comprehensive plan. So we completely support the project. Things though that I would appreciate being mindful of as density and intensity of uses increase in that area kind of reflect back on what you brought up as far as septic and well. Because per the comprehensive plan, I don't see any near-term public infrastructure build out to that area. So that means waste and water have to be sourced on site. Our home, we had to re-drill the well. It was a 100-foot well, and now it's a 400-foot well. So we do have knowledge that wells in that area do dry up. And I'm sure they've done their studies, but I just want to, again, as intensity increases, kind of be mindful of that. And then also drain fields. There are other uses that are coming through Planning Commission in Rockbridge County right now that are getting these short-term campground, special exception permits, and they're not supplying any kind of handling of wastewater. And per their public hearings, their statements are, well, we're going to send them to the KOA. And again, they have a first-class operation, but just know that as other folks are kind of hopping on this bandwagon and maybe not at a professional level that they're at, that they're kind of looking to them as their backup plan. That's how I see it. And then the other thing is just dark sky compliant lighting, kind of like the state park is pushing that. And I can say for certain that from my backyard, which is 800 feet away from the budget inn, their parking lot lighting casts shadows uphill to our backyard. So that's a long ways away. Normally photometric studies are done, you foot candles spill across a property line, but not by much. So just kind of keep that stuff mindful, but we're lucky to have a first-class operator. So I'm just here to support that, and my mom's here too, so. we
Thank
support
you.
them.
Thanks for coming out this evening.
you.
I appreciate it.
I apologize. I'm still sharing my screen, so I'll stop that.
Do you have anybody else here in
No one
person?
else has signed up to speak, but we can recognize anyone
Okay.
at this time.
All right.
With that,
So
let
now
me-
comments via computer and phone.
If anyone would like to speak online, now is the appropriate time to use the raise hand button. Not seeing any. I will turn the floor back over to the chair.
Okay, with no further comments, the public hearing is closed and we'll bring it back to the board. I feel like I had all my questions answered there.
Yeah.
I have one question, Chris, though. So this plan that we have, I mean, it looks like a good plan. It's well thought out and all that. I mean, I guess when they go to Board of Supervisors, like I was asking about, is there going to be a fence or whatever? I mean, is that all worked out? down
Well,
the road or?
we have in our draft conditions, number one is substantial compliance with concept plan prepared by applicant title. That's the plan that you have,
Yeah.
the entire plan. And so to answer your question directly, as far as the requirement for a fence on a stormwater management plan, that is currently not shown, and it would not, normally it would not be a condition.
Okay.
I'm
Just want to
sorry,
make sure.
normally it would not be a fence associated with a stormwater management pond
Okay.
under normal circumstances. I mean, such as subdivisions, residential subdivisions, most of those, if not, I don't know of one that is fenced in the county.
Okay. I just want to make sure we weren't missing something here.
Certainly,
So,
yes.
Okay,
Sure, the chair may recognize you.
Yes.
Oops.
come on in.
There's another option instead of having I think call it dry pond where it fills up when it rains and drains down. I think they also do underground storage as well. So that may
Okay.
be something we choose to do depending on price and other
Right.
things that may be better. That way we can keep that land, maybe develop, put that underneath the playground. That way the water stored under the playground and we can still use that as, usable space for
Right.
activity fields, playgrounds, dog park, stuff like that. So
Okay,
that may help you with the
sure.
kids around water. We may do underground storage as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions, comments?
I'm
I
good.
don't,
Okay, he's up.
just the number two, correct 140.
Total number of campsites to include RV sites, tent sites, not to exceed, you guys would be at 140 if you do this addition?
And I would like to say if we can modify that number to 145 max, because there is 114 on the tax rolls currently. And I didn't have an opportunity to chat with you on that, but there's currently 114 sites on the tax roll, and sort of keep that consistent
Just to
and
make
have
sure.
some flexibility for the future. It'd still be substantial compliance, but it'd be essentially my
45, just to
recommendation.
cover
145.
ourselves?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
And be consistent with the tax roll, I should say.
Okay,
Okay. I make a motion to recommend that the special exception permit for expansion of the existing campground in the agricultural and general uses district A2 per LDR section 603.03-15 and in the general business district B1 per LDR section 605.03-14 located at 214 Killdeer Lane, Natural Bridge, identified as tax map number 96-10-5B and tax map number 96-10-8 in the Buffalo Magisterial District be approved with the following conditions. Number one, substantial compliance with the concept plan prepared by applicant titled Natural Bridge KOA 2022 Special Exception Drawings dated August 9th, 2020. Total number of campsites to include RV sites, tent sites, and cabin sites not to exceed 145. 3, all trash shall be taken directly to the landfill and not to county collection centers or county green boxes. Number 4, lighting shall be in compliance with 1303 of the Rockbridge County Land Development Regulations. And number 5, approval contingent on Virginia Department of Transportation, Health Department, Building Department, and the Rockbridge County Office of Fire Rescue and Emergency Management approvals.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion passes and a special exception permit is approved. Okay, thank you.
And
We,
so our next step is with the Board of Supervisors. It's obviously move forward with a recommendation for approval.
Right.
Our next step is with the Board of Supervisors on,
at the 20th,
it is going to be on the September 26th at 6 PM in the same room. So the Planning Commission has an advisory role to the board.
Right.
Just want to make
Yes.
sure. Yes.
sorry. I
No, that's
was, we approve it, so we're going to pass it on with the recommendation that
Yes,
they
no,
do.
that's-
So
I appreciate
we'll
it.
be
Yes, ma'am.
right back here on the 26th for the official approval, hopefully. So we're moving on to item number 7, which is the Balcony Downs Revocable Living Trust, 55 Balcony Downs Lane, Buena Vista, Virginia, 24416. There's a public hearing for this application for special exception permit, special event venue in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district. The staff and applicant will give their presentation.
Yes, this is a special exception permit for a wedding event venue owned by the Balcony Downs Revocable Living Trust. Details on the property itself. The property under consideration is owned by Balcony Downs Revocable Living Trust, and it's identified as tax map number 108B2-1-A, and it consists of 40.04 per acres per tax records. It should be noted that the trust owns additional parcel to the south. It would be that is 10.249 acres per tax records, and that's identified as 108B2-1-A. A1A, which is not included in the application. The property is located in the agricultural and general use districts. And so I usually say located in and surrounded by, but in this case, the property around on the east side of the road is in the agricultural zoning district, but the property directly across the road is actually industrial zoning district and then general industrial zoning district. As far as the special exception proposal itself, per section 603.03-24 of the regulations, special events are used by special exception in the agricultural general use district, A2. Again, the applicant is Balcony Downs Revocable Living Trust, an existing structure to be utilized for the special events to house the event, house the special events. Conditions that could be utilized for the proposed conditions are permit is limited to no more than blank special events a year. We can chat about that. Substantial compliance with the site plan, substantial compliance with the concept plan prepared by the applicant titled Site Plan Proposal, Balcony Downs, Rockbridge County, Virginia, dated, and that one's blank, but I do have a good date for that one now. Number 3, events will be limited to a maximum number of blank attendees with no more than blank vehicles on site for the events. Event manager shall be on site during all special events. Number 4, all site activities will be concluded by blank PM Mondays through Thursdays and blank PM on Fridays and Saturdays. No special events will be held on Sunday. And I like to pause here. This is number 4. These have been slightly modified since the last wedding event venue we did on the Borden Grant area. And so some of these are relatively new to the commission members, especially number 1 and some of number 4 that I just went through. So I just like point that out. Number 5, adequate off-street parking and traffic controls will be provided. No parking along Glasgow Highway, identified as Route 501. A stop sign shall be installed on the property entry to Glasgow Highway. That's also something relatively new there from our last special exception, similar special exception. Number 6, alcoholic beverages will not be self-served. Will not be self-served. Number 7, all trash will be taken directly to landfill, not to the county collection centers or county green boxes. Number 8, any amplified music must be within an enclosed structure. Number 9, lighting shall be in compliance with section 1303 of the Rockbridge County Land Development Regulations. Number 10, no aerial fireworks or gun salutes shall be permitted. No open air fire shall be permitted by attendees. Number 11, approval contingent upon county building department, Virginia Department of Transportation, VDOT, and Health Department approvals. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Miss Celeste Kidd to review the details of the project and answer additional details of the project and answer any questions the Planning Commission may have. And she does have a PowerPoint also. All right, bear with me here because I'm going to close some of this stuff out so I can find it. All right, let me attempt to do this one more time here. All right. Sorry about that. It just used up and down on there. It's good to go.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, again, my name is Celeste Kidd. I'm here with my husband Daniel and one of our daughters, Morgan. I am the trustee and the grantor of the Balcony Downs Trust. And thank you for being here tonight and allowing us the opportunity to share with you what has become our family's dream for Balcony Downs. So for those who may not be familiar, Balcony Downs was historically a plantation of 2,500 acres. Today, it is consists of 50 acres total. And there are 3 houses on the property, the main house and 2 guest homes. It is a 50-50 mixture of woods and open land. Now, the woods surround the perimeter of the property, which creates a nice buffer for those neighbors. And the open area is primarily in the center. So this is where the events and activities would be concentrated. It's going to be in the center of the property. The road frontage and the entry would be off of 501. There's ample parking and overflow parking available. And Balcony Downs is a natural attraction due to its rich history. And there's a unique brick structure that was the plantation dairy barn at the time. So we get a lot of people asking about that structure and wanting to get photographs and things there. So we started doing short-term rentals, and these are the guest homes on the property, which we renovated between 2013 and 2014 after purchasing. And we have maintained these on as short-term rentals since that time. And our platform of choice is Airbnb. So being on Airbnb, we've maintained superhost status since opening, which in order to maintain that status, you have to have a high standard of cleanliness, the amenities that you offer, and your marketing has to be such that people want to be there, want to visit. So we have been able to maintain that since our opening. This is the main house, which we started doing as a short-term rental just last year. So actually September, so it's been a year now that this one has been offered. And this one is a 4-bedroom. And this one would be the primary space for brides and the bridal party to be able to get dressed and kind of stage and have their personal things stored during the events. There's parking to the left of this house, which would be for the staff parking. So a typical event, if we're talking about a wedding, a lot of brides like to do the outdoor weddings. We have a rustic arch that can be moved anywhere on the property. One of the most popular options is to have to be able to see the brick barn and the woods in the mountains in the background. So what you're seeing here are pictures of one of our daughters, her wedding. As you can see, the land is flat, which makes it very easy for setting up seating and being able for people to walk around. After ceremony, the event space, which is the barn that we're proposing, has on the 2 sides has 3 sliding doors on each side, and then there's sliding doors on the front, sliding doors on the back. So opening these doors allows for great airflow, allows for people to kind of spill out into the green area, onto the patios that we're proposing be built. So it gives a lot of ample space, and it also it gives a lot of open area for entry and exit for safety. So this is the proposed parking. As you can see, there would be some changes done to the existing road coming up to the barn space. We would create a one-way loop in front of the barn. So this would allow for guests to be dropped off at the front door to accommodate, especially for those who might have mobility concerns. Once you come out of the one-way loop, you would turn right into this road, which brings you into the main guest parking lot. So this parking lot accommodates 80 vehicles. And there is overflow parking, which would be to the right of the barn, behind the main house, and additional overflow parking would be to the left of the barn. And this is a picture just so you can kind of see where the parking is in relation to the entry and the existing main home. So you can kind of get a feel for the full scope of the property. So Chris asked about, and let me address some of the limitations that we would have for the events. We're not looking to do more than 52 a year. Events would be shut down during the week, Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. and Friday, Saturdays at 11. No events on Sunday, no amplified music outside. The event size would be limited to 200 guests. Again, that would be 80 vehicles in that main parking, and an additional 10 would easily fit in the staff parking area. And I've addressed the overflow parking areas as well. So this is the entry. Again, being off of 501, it has excellent sight distance. It's off the main highway, well-traveled highway, makes Balcony Downs a natural setting for this venue. Tourists traveling 501 have many, many times stopped, pulled into the property and stopped and asked about the property. Everybody is really curious and just want to see the property. Our guests, and we have hosted guests through the short-term rentals. We've hosted well over 1,000 guests from all over the world. And people are constantly asking if they can have events here. So we feel for these reasons that Balcony Downs is uniquely situated for a partnership with the county to provide this venue.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You guys have any questions?
Do y'all live on the property? You mentioned the big house you're.
Yeah, I did. We did for a while. We do not now. We actually have a property on River Road, which we will be moving to when my husband retires.
Does a caterer do all the providing for the food and beverages, and do they own the liquor license, the ABC license?
Correct. Everything goes through caterers.
Okay. And they, obviously you check the insurance certificate. And all
Yes,
that.
and in addition to their license and insurance, we also require brides or whoever's renting the property to have day of insurance as well.
And as far as restrooms and things, how are you going to accommodate 200 guests
Yes, ma'am.
with that?
Yes, ma'am. So inside of the barn, there's a kitchen and there's also 2 bathrooms, ADA compliant.
Anything
Will
else?
your parking area be gravelled, or just kind of delineated and park on grass?
So the majority of it will be in grass so that we are not disturbing more than an acre.
And you're planning to pave that driveway in the circle? I read
That would be
somewhere.
gravel. What we are going to be paving will be the entry part for the VDOT regulations. So it didn't require, but we are going to go all the way to the gate. So from 501 to the gate will all be widened and paved.
And I noticed the circular going into the parking lot, is that going to be 2-way? I mean, it's going to be wide enough that you can go in and come out, because if you have somebody coming around the circle and going to park and somebody who's leaving, is there going to be an issue there, or is it wide enough?
Sure. Actually, it is written up as a one-way coming in on the right and then exiting on the at the left, and that's where you would turn to go to the road for the main parking. So that portion of it is one way, and I'll go back to that slide if you'd like.
If you could, that would be great,
Sure, no
because
problem.
the way it looks to me, it looks like you're going to go around and go into that parking, but there might be somebody leaving from that parking. So I was just
So
trying to figure that out.
That straight area going from the parking, that is 2-way. Just the
Okay.
loop is one way.
Okay.
So the 2-way portion is 18 foot and the one-way is 12.
Okay. Just to make sure
Yeah.
passing there. Okay. Anything else? All right. I think that's it. If we come up with anything, we'll let you know.
Great. Thank you.
All right. So at this time, we're going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here physically who would like to speak?
Yeah, 1 second. We'll stop sharing so everyone can see. Yes, Win Locker signed up.
Hey, Win. Good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Rockbridge Planning Commission. My name is Win Locker, and I actually live within the city limits, but I'm here representing a adjoining property owner, BG Locker Jr. Madam Chair, members of the commission, I would like to speak in support of the event venue proposed at 55 Balcony Downs Lane. I am a staunch supporter of progress in Rockbridge County, and this project will bring revenue not only to the county, but also to the town of Glasgow. Additionally, as the applicant pointed out in her proposal, this type of business will support many others throughout the service industry. This is a wonderful concept and proposal, and I urge you to vote in support of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here physically?
That is everyone that signed up.
Okay.
Anyone else like to make
Comments?
comments? More welcome. With that, I'll turn to the online submittals. Now is the appropriate time to use the raise hand button if you'd like to make a comment pertaining to Balcony Downs. A few minutes. And they're not seeing any. I'll turn the floor back over to the chair.
Okay. So we will close the public hearing and we will bring it back to the board. Y'all have any additional questions or?
Just one question. I saw in your proposal that the season of operation would be March through December. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. We would shut down.
So when you're asking for 52 events, you're thinking you might have a Friday, Saturday, or something like that, some weeks, Friday and Saturday,
Sure.
please.
Actually, I'm not even looking to do 52. I don't see that. I would cap it at 52, but I really don't see it going that way. Primarily what we would be looking at for people who are wanting to do a wedding, they're going to want to have a rehearsal dinner. They're going to want to have time to set up. So when we talk about doing events, we're talking about primarily renting from Friday night until Sunday morning. So that way they've got the whole space and time to do that, and gives the bride some flexibility. I'm not really looking for aggressive multiple events each weekend.
I'm planning a wedding right now for my daughter on the 7th outside. It's a little nerve wracking,
I
but
know,
you know,
possibly.
it's so popular. Like there are people that are she had to get married on a Friday because there were literally 2 dates that she could pick in the whole year of 22. So
We
I
do
think it's
want-
definitely something we need for sure.
We do want to offer some other options for people who may be on a budget. So we will offer a micro as well, which would consist more of the weekdays.
Okay.
So that is an option. Although I don't think it's going to, I don't project that one being something that's going to be very popular. I'm not sure at this point, but I wouldn't expect it. Primarily, we would be looking at one a weekend.
Thank you. Okay, anything else here?
No, I think it's a great proposal, great location. You know, you have plenty of space. I don't think you'll impinge on any neighbors. So good job on
I've
your
been
application.
out to Balcony Downs when a former owner had kids and our kids were out there, and it is a beautiful property. So it's been really nice to see what you all have done out
Very
there.
much
So
so.
we appreciate that. Bringing it back. Okay, so we will,
So the only thing we have not talked about is the date of the plan for number 2 is 7/20/22, and that's what was displayed that last time as the site proposal. So that the blank on that one is 7/20/22.
and the number of guests is 280
Yeah.
vehicles,
Well, with overflow, and so with 200,
90.
I think we have more than as far as overflow. As far as total number of vehicles, obviously we have 200 attendees. Obviously, some are going to be carpooling, but
She was
I'm
saying there was 80 spaces plus 10 by the barn, so that's 90.
Correct. I would say maybe go to 100. Would be all that we would need for something like that.
Because you would imagine 2 per car or something like that. So, okay,
It's fine.
okay. Thank you.
And 10 on the weekdays and 11 on weekends. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Make a motion to recommend to the Board of Supervisors the special exception permit for special events in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district per LDR section 603.03-24 located at 55 Balcony Downs Lane, Buena Vista, Virginia, and identified as tax map number 108B2-1-A in the Natural Bridge Magisterial District be approved with the following conditions. Number 1, permit is limited to no more than 52 special events per year. Number 2, substantial compliance with concept plan prepared by applicant titled Site Proposal Balcony Downs, Rockbridge County, Virginia, dated July 20th, 2022. Number 3, events will be limited to a maximum of 200 attendees with no more than 100 vehicles on site for events. Event manager shall be on site during all special events. Number 4, all site activities will be concluded by 10 p.m. on Mondays through Thursdays and by 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. No special events will be held on Sundays. Number 5, adequate off-street parking facilities and traffic controls will be provided. No parking along Glasgow Highway, Route 501. A stop sign shall be installed on the property at the entry to Glasgow Highway. Number 6, alcoholic beverages will not be self-served. Number 7, all trash shall be taken directly to the landfill and not to county collection centers or county green boxes. Number 8, any amplified music must be within an enclosed structure. Number 9, lighting shall be in compliance with 1303 of the Rockbridge County Land Development Regulations. Number 10, no aerial fireworks or gun salutes shall be permitted. No open air fire shall be permitted by attendees. And number 11, approval contingent on County Building Department, Virginia Department of Transportation, and the Health Department approvals.
Okay, we have a motion. And a
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
And the motion passes. So this also will go before the board on the 26th, correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all. And
Thank
thank
you.
you all for coming and being here this evening. We are now going to discuss, I guess, the comprehensive plan or get an update.
Yes, and it's a very, just like the last 2 months, it's a very brief update. We were able, Vivica and I were able to meet with a representative of, thank you. We're able to meet with a representative of the Central Shenandoah Planning District Commission. As I think I previously stated, they're have many requests of updating comp plans. And that could be everything from a turnkey job to piece, to working on particular sections. With ours, it's certainly not going to be a turnkey job. But with that being said, they were going to, we were going to get some samples from them. And my next step is essentially, I know Mr. Kramer's thoroughly reviewed the comprehensive plan, but what I'd like to do prior to making edits to that is send y'all what we would like to do is send y'all a couple examples. And one trend I should say is more is less. And so obviously ours is a very detailed, it goes over a whole lot of information, but what other localities, some localities are essentially simplifying that. And so with that being said, it may be a trend that we would like to see happen in Rockbridge County. There's some less is more. I'm sorry. I was wondering.
Wow,
Okay,
more
yeah,
is
sorry.
less.
I thought.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, I was
250 pages.
sorry, I was distracted. We're gonna double the size of the comprehensive plan. and
Make
we're
sure we
gonna
get
add
every
more data.
detail.
More maps, more data. No. And so what we'll do in the upcoming week, long before the next planning commission meeting, what I like to do is just essentially send y'all other samples of around the Commonwealth and sort of give y'all different flavors and then continue the discussion and see how it evolves. But again, we didn't have much time to work on this agenda item. So that's what I have for you this evening.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think the big thing is, there's so much data there that's out of date. If we're going to have a consultant, that should be like boilerplate.
Certainly.
But I love the graphs and photos, especially when you gave them to me in color.
Yes.
Black and white, they weren't. too
Didn't do a
cool.
whole lot for you, huh?
Yeah, we were always cognitive of cost saving. So the first draft
Yeah,
I gave
But
Mr.
thank
Kramer
you.
was a black and white, and then we did go back and give him color copies. So yes. So if y'all would prefer hard copies, obviously just let us know and we'll get them to you.
Hell, yeah, I'm happy with them on the computer because
Certainly.
I feel like I can look at them and go back to them, and I hate wasting paper. Okay.
Okay,
You like to
we'll
have that
get
hard
you-
copy, huh?
We'll
Okay.
get you a hard copy. Absolutely. Yes.
Very good.
Ask for the color photos.
Color ones, yeah.
Deluxe, please.
Okay, very good. All right, so we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.